Guys, welcome back to the shop. With the Mustang in the home stretch and the step notch done on the F100, it's time to get back on everybody's favorite Falcon Sprint.
Our chief engineer spends most of his time in his machine shop, testing his automats over and over again.
This thing is kind of dusty. Let me get some air on this thing and blow it off. Okay, so that looks like 7/16. Let me get my little rubber deal. Trying to be more organized. What, first gas? Now, I do have quite a bit of money wrapped up in this fuel injection in this car. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm just going to get the motor going and break it in on a carburetor, and then down the road maybe I'll fuel inject it, or maybe I'll just save it for another project. I don't know. There it is. Okay, I've got all the heavy junk scraped off. I'm going to come through with a wire wheel now and finish it up. So these gaskets actually don't fit all the ports like super well. There's some overlap there. You can see right here I trimmed this one, and maybe should probably go back and trim a little bit more. But it actually says in the directions what they want you to do is like bolt down the intake manifold and then pull it off. Bolt it down without the China wall cork on there. Pull it off and trim the gasket to where it fits the cylinder head. So I'm not going to bolt it down. I can see real easily where it interferes. So I'm just going to come back through here and probably trim each one of these right to the edge of the blue rubber on it, and that should be good. Okay, got the Ultra Gray RTV. I'm going to do the underside of that, smear a little on the top, and do the China rails. So I'm not sure if I explained why I'm taking off the fuel injection and going with the carburetor. Number one is because I want to, and I want to because, well, I'm not super familiar with fuel injection, and I would have to have that tuned. I don't know how to tune it. I'd probably try it myself. And you know, I bought the kit that has like all the self-tuning stuff in it, so it'll self-tune with the wideband and all that stuff. But after having the Mustang done and like at my fingertips, and I really like that carburetor, by the way. It's a quick fuel, like super duper adjustable one with all the annular boosters and all that cool stuff. It's a really great carburetor, and I was like, you know what, I just want this car together, and I want to get it going, and also I need to break in the motor, so let's just put a carburetor on it. Let's just spend $850 on a carburetor. I mean, I do have a Carter or an AFB over there, or I guess they're not called that anymore, Edelbrock carburetor sitting over there that you know, I could use. But I really like the quick fuel, and I think I'll probably just leave the carburetor on this car. It just makes it easy. If I was more of a fuel injection guy, I would be more of a fuel injection guy, I guess. Taking the easy way out, whatever. It's okay. All right. Oh shit! I don't even know if the manifold's cleaned off. I should check that. It's not. Okay, I got the intake manifold cleaned off, and it's prepped, ready to go. So, pick back up here. All right, we got them all installed and torqued. I need to get a 90-degree thermostat housing for up here. And gosh, I need to take these off and clean them. They are filthy. But we got the intake manifold on. It's one step closer to being ready for a carburetor. I actually have all the throttle linkage too, so we can go ahead and put that on as well. You ready to go swim lessons?
Yeah.
Okay. Get you in there. All right, we got the kids loaded up, and they're off to swim lessons. But guys, I messed up. I was laying in bed last night, and you ever have one of those moments where you're like laying there, and you're like, oh crap, I had one of those. Let me show you why. I didn't put any sealant on the China walls. There's no sealant on the front or back China wall, so I gotta pull this intake manifold up. I probably ruined these gaskets, so I'm probably gonna have to go get some more. But man, well, I mean, I guess I would rather have just not done that, but all right, let me pull it back off. All right, I got that pulled back off. I got to clean that back up. I got to look through my gaskets. I may have another set of intake manifold gaskets. If not, I'm going to head down to O'Reilly's, see if they've got the Felpro 1262 that the Flowtech heads need, and hopefully I can get this done relatively quickly. Well, that was a $40 mistake, but thankfully my local O'Reilly's, they didn't have them there, but they pulled them from another store, and they had it within a couple hours at the shop, and I went and picked it up at the one just down the street here. So yeah, these are not like the regular ones. Let me show you. So this says here, Ford Motorsport AR aluminum heads. Those are actually the heads. The Ford Motorsport heads are the heads that I have on that car. But Flowtech requires the same gasket. So I did have another pair of just standard intake manifold gaskets, but since Flowtech recommended those, I figured I better just do that just to make sure I don't screw anything up. I'd hate to get it all together and then have to take it all apart. So yeah, let's just do this all again. I'll just save you the pain of watching me do that again, but that's clean. And the manifold, frick, I gotta clean the manifold again too. All right, I'll clean the manifold off, and then we'll be ready to go. And I won't forget to put the sealant on the China walls this time. Okay guys, I saved you the nonsense and went ahead and put the intake manifold back on. This time I did remember to seal up the China walls front and back. So that manifold is not coming back off, hopefully. All right, the next thing I need to do is that this car gets pushed in and out a lot because it doesn't run right now. And it's hard to push. And the reason it's hard to push is because the toe is so far out to lunch. So like you can see, that wheel is pointed a little bit in this way, and the other one is pointed in like the opposite. So it's kind of pigeon-toed. So I need to crawl under it and run that one out or that one in or do something, see which one's the furthest out. Get it adjusted so the car rolls easy in and out. And also I think I'm hearing some rubbing in the back, or maybe it's up front, I don't know. And eventually the front needs to come up like an inch, but I don't have the tool for the coilover, so I need to get that on order or make one. But yeah, so let's get the front of this car up in the air, get the toe adjusted. But I think what we'll do is we'll get this car lifted up so it's out of the way, so we have more room to swing the jack around the front because it's kind of close. There's remnants from the truck in here when we notched it. There's part of the frame, and our old friend, the mud dauber, all over these things down here in this house. I'm gonna brush that up real quick. Oh, that's another thing I gotta do. I gotta take that door hanger off of that thing and get it set back up to use like a jack, and then hang that thing somewhere. I swear, running the broom is the most valuable life lesson that the Air Force taught me. I was in the Air Force 1999 to 2005, and the thing I did the most was sweep the floor. Okay, let's get under here and see which side is screwed out too far. Let's see, that side is kind of far out. This wheel ain't even tight. None of this crap's tight. Okay, let's see. We're showing 2 1/4 thread on that. All right, let's put it to the nut because the other side's to the nut. Two inches on the money. Let's see what the other side says. Wow, the other side is also 2, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Let me pull the tape front to back on these things here. I'm just grabbing the inside line I wanted to tread, and I'm going to measure it and then compare it to the back. $51 1/4. Oh wow, 52 1/4. This wheel needs to toe out about 1 inch. Let me go get a big wrench. No wonder it's been so hard to turn. Oh, man. Back this thing off. Let's see. Yeah, loosening it will push this out, right? Let's see. Why am I doing this the hard way? Guys, I'm over here doing this the hard way. Like turning it turn by turn here. And these ain't even set in there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this would probably be the easy way, huh? Oh shit, that's 52 right there. That should be good enough to push. Okay, I've got the front of the car squared away, and I'm actually putting a tool away that I had on. I'm trying to do better, guys. I make such a mess. I feel like I'm Pigpen, like from the Peanuts. You guys probably, I'm too old. But anyways, like I just leave like a disaster behind me wherever I go. I'm trying to be better. Okay, I got the front wheels squared away. You know what? You see that? That is the ground cable that goes to the back of the car. I'm actually going to do one of those like anti-gravity, like real small batteries, and put it up front. So I'm just going to cut that off real quick where it's at. And then when I get the car in the air, I'll clean that stuff up. So let me cut that off real quick. And then we will push this car outside, bring that car down, swap places, put that up on the floor. right, so whenever I built these mounts, it was on the ground and I couldn't really get to a lot of this stuff. So I'm gonna come back through here and I'm gonna weld under here and through there, and probably put a couple tacks on here as well. And it looks like the other side could use it as well. Also, we can pull all this stuff down. All this, all the cable for running the battery to the back. I'm not gonna do that anymore. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna get a small battery and put it up front. Also, I guess I never painted the sway bar back here. I should probably drop that and do that too. I think I can, oh yeah, I can get in there. All right, that's welded up. Next thing we need to do is come down here and grab these old Doug's tri-wires. We gotta clean these things off. Man, these things are dirty. These are great headers. I don't think these have, no, they haven't, yeah. So I ended up getting these from my dad, but he got out of small block stuff and decided to blow a bunch of money building FEs, relive his childhood or something, I don't know. But yeah, just kidding, Dad. He watches these. So, anyways, I got these from him. So the only one, I know the passenger side fits. Does the driver's side fit? Or do I have to go up underneath? Oh, there's like zero problem with the steering. So what I was worried about is the header hitting the steering, and I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna grab some header bolts and an exhaust gasket, and then we'll get this header mounted up. Well, that was the plan anyway. The header is hitting some stuff. It's hitting these casting nubs here on the head, so I need to grind those off, and it's also hitting the frame rail, so I need to either clearance the frame rail or beat the shit out of the header. I don't know which one I'm gonna do yet. I'll probably clearance the frame rail because these are nice headers and I don't want that ceramic coat to chip, and clearly I'm not above cutting up the car, so I think that's the route I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get some plugs to throw in the some of these, like these caps to put in the spark plug holes, and then I'll worry about starting to cut that, grind those casting lugs off of that. What I'm doing now is there's a bend in the tube, this part right there, that kicks out and it's hitting this part on the subframe of the car. So I think I'm just gonna try and beat it up into place so it kind of matches this rather than cut it. So let me get the BFH and start working some material. I need to reshape this part right here, and I thought about just hitting it with a hammer, but you know, as much as this car means to me, I don't want to just go rearranging sheet metal with a hammer just to get it done quickly. So I'm going to take, it looks like it's spot welded here and maybe some up here. I think I'm going to take a wheel and cut here and then along here, see if I can't get this out, and then fold that back up and possibly weld it back to the bottom there. We'll see what that gets me. All right, guys, we got somewhere today. We got the headers on. Let's put this thing in the air, and I'm going to show you what I had to do to get this lights. To get the driver's side header to fit. So these headers are Doug's tri-wise, and Doug's does. They make a set for this car with a small block, but the set I have are for like a 69 or 70 fastback with a small block. So the kickouts, I'll show you in just a second, but it's way wider than it should be for these narrow little Falcons. Let me show you when we get under the car. All right, under the car, this is the passenger side. I do have like a tiny bit of contact in there. And I think I'm just gonna dent that header. That's super close. But man, these things fit real nice. Look at how well they fit up here. Am I touching up here? Well, I might be touching right there too. I can push that toe board in a little bit, get away with it. But the big deal was over here. So you see that kick out there. Let me put this light here. So the way this tube kind of kicks out, let me see if I can get it from the bottom, comes out and then kicks out, it puts it right in the frame. So I had to do some surgery here. I'm just going to plate that back in with 1/8 inch, or I have a piece of this. This is like not thick enough. I was going to try and like dimple it, but that didn't work out. So I'll just straight plate it in, and there's going to be plenty of room if I do that. So that's the plan there. These headers are in. Next thing we got to do is we got to look at this transmission crossmember. I built this crossmember, I don't know, 10 years ago or something, on a CNC plasma table at work, and it works. I'm not super happy with the way it fits, but it works. I may redesign that. I may do something else. I don't know. But what I need to do is make some kind of provision for the emergency brake cable that comes out of here, because I'm lacking in that capacity. There's no e-brake in this car, and that's probably a good idea. Unless I do like a electronic e-brake. Have you guys seen those? Those are pretty slick. All right, guys, we made some great headway on the Falcon today. We got the headers installed. We got that toe issue figured out to where I could push the car a little bit easier. We got the intake manifold swapped. With a little more effort and a little bit more time, I think this car can be running pretty quick. I do want to build an exhaust before I fire the engine, just so I can hear the engine, because it's a brand new build and the open header deal kind of, you know the story. I want to hear it. I want to hear the engine, make sure it's not eating itself or whatever. So yeah, next up we're going to do something with this transmission crossmember. We're going to build the exhaust, get a carburetor on there, get all the ignition stuff, and let this thing sing. So as always, guys, thanks for coming around.